Hello, my dear students. Good morning. This is Miss Abir. Today we are taking lesson 11.11. This is the last lesson in our chapter. Okay? In this lesson, we are going to have problem solving for equal shares. As I told you before, problem solving is so important in math because it needs more analytical skills. It needs you to understand the question because it's a word problem, so you have to understand the words, know the keywords, what is required from you, and what you are asked to find, and what information you will need to use. So let's start our lesson together. Let's read the problem together. There are two sandwiches, okay, that are the same size. Each sandwich is divided into fourths. As I have told you before, fourths means 4 equal parts, okay? But the sandwiches are cut differently. They are cut differently. So please highlight that it's divided into fourths and they are cut differently. How might the two sandwiches be cut? Now, what are you asked to find? You are asked to find the two ways that sandwiches might be cut. Okay, so what do I need to find? How the sandwiches could be cut. And we need how many ways? 2 ways, not just one way. We need 2 ways. What information do I need to use from the question, from the problem? Let's do it together. There are how many sandwiches mentioned in the problem? How many sandwiches? 2. Excellent. And each sandwich is divided into how many parts? What do we call it? Let's go back to the question and read. Each sandwich is divided into fourths. The word that you highlighted it. Fourths, okay? Now, what does it mean that the sandwiches are divided into fourths? It means that each sandwich is divided into 4 equal parts, okay? Now, let's see together. Show to solve the problem. Okay, we have to show 2 different ways to divide the sandwich into 4 equal parts, into fourths, okay? So here is the first way. We are going to draw like this, okay? We are going to draw one vertical line, one horizontal line to divide the square into 4 equal parts. 1, 2, 3, 4 equal parts. What can we do for the other square? What do you think? Okay, we can draw 2 diagonal lines. Diagonal lines means from this part here till this one, and here from this one till this one. Okay, so we can draw 2 diagonal lines to show 4 equal parts that are different shapes than the fourths in the other square. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Here we have 4 equal squares inside the main square. Here we have 4 triangles that are equal inside the square. So here we divided the 2 sandwiches differently. We cut them differently, okay? In the first square, we draw one vertical line and one horizontal line dividing the square into 4 equal squares. In the second square, we draw 2 diagonal lines to show 4 equal parts that are triangles, which are different shapes than the fourths in the other square, okay? Now, I need to ask you a question. How are the squares alike and how are they different? Think. Excellent. The squares both show 4 equal parts. Here we have 4 equal parts, and here in this square we have 4 equal parts. But what is different? That the parts in each square are different shape. Here we have triangles. Here we have squares, right? So this is the difference between the two sandwiches or the two squares. Now let's move to page 766. Okay, let's read together. In the first question it says, Marquise has 2 square sheets of paper. He has 2 square sheets of paper that are the same size. He wants to cut each sheet into halves. Okay, so each sheet should be divided into halves. What are the 2 different ways he can cut the sheets of the paper? Now we need to think of what do I need to find? I need to find here, please highlight with me. Okay. We need to find here 2 different, sorry. Don't highlight all of this. We need to find 2 different ways he can cut the sheets of the paper. And what information do I need to use? That each sheet is divided into halves, and here we have 2 square sheets. Now let's go back to our square sheets. The first sheet, I will divide it into 2 using a diagonal line from this point till this point, like this. Okay? For the second one, I will draw a line like this.